Hello, I have a book review for you. This is Mooncakes by Suzanne Walker and Wendy Xu. Wendy Xu? I'm not sure which way you want to pronounce that. Let me look here. Let's see. She's from Brooklyn. So it could be Zhu or Chu. X's are pronounced like a CH in Chinese. But it would just depend on her family then, because she's from the US, so I don't know. Tangent, sorry. This is, I already told you what it is. Everybody's been talking about this. This just came out in October. It's a graphic novel. It's actually one of the nominees for Goodreads Choice Award for Best Graphic Novels and Comics this year. So the art looks like this, which I like the art. Everybody's been talking about it because not only is it witchy and magic-y and werewolfy, it's also got a crap load of representation. So we've got our two main characters, Tam and Nova. It doesn't say in the text, but everybody has been saying that both of them are Chinese American. Tam is, everybody says non-binary, at least in the text. They use they, them pronouns. Nova has two grandmas that, while it's not stated in the text, seem to be together. It's made mention that Nova went out with a guy at one point, and now this is all mushy with her and Tam, and Nova is hard of hearing. So this sounded good, but it didn't seem like a need to read. I'm trying to not add too many things to my TBR lately. But with Nova being hard of hearing, I wanted to read it. River, go put those hangers away. For those of you that don't know, I am hearing, but I am doing a degree in sign language interpretation. And with that degree, there's not only deaf culture class that you have to take, but a lot of my teachers are deaf. You have to interact a lot with the deaf community, so you get familiar with the culture. And I love reading books about deaf and hard of hearing characters because it's really interesting to see the representation. I don't know hardly how to explain it. It's actually what I did my paper on for my deaf culture class was representation of deaf culture in modern media. A lot of books, a lot of TV shows as well. Anyway, that's all to say that while I am hearing, I'm familiar with the culture and everything. And when I got this book in the library, I flipped through it, and it looked like the only way you could tell that Nova was hard of hearing was that she has visible hearing aids in the pictures. On reading the whole thing, there are a few other things. You see her having difficulty talking on the phone. You see her not hearing things very well when she takes her hearing aids out. Little things like that, which are great. However, in one of the first panels, let's see if I can bring this up. So, this right here, you see her, she's listening to music, okay, and then, but over here, they call her to come downstairs. And I don't know what her hearing loss is. I don't know, okay? So don't jump all over me. But that just seemed like it would be difficult. Like, she wouldn't just, oh, I heard you, I'm going to pop downstairs. They might have had to holler a few times or come up and poke their head up or something. It's just the way it seemed to me. And yeah, there were things that show, obviously, that she is hard of hearing, that she has hearing aids and the things that go along with that. Which, again, is great. But for most of the book, it seemed like she could be hearing. It, like, all you'd have to do is not draw the hearing aids, and you wouldn't be able to tell a difference with the way they wrote her. And that just frustrated me. I think the representation for her could have been done better. It seemed to me like, and I have less familiarity with the other areas, but it seemed to me like they did a much better job with the rest of the representation than they did with the hard of hearing representation. I think part of that might also be, and this is just my opinion, but the writer, sorry, my phone cut off. The illustrator is Wendy Xu or Chu. The writer is Suzanne Walker. And it doesn't say anything in the little bio at the back of the book. It doesn't say anything about if she's hard of hearing, deaf, hearing. It doesn't say. It does say that she's written nonfiction articles in Barriers and Belonging, Personal Narratives of Disability. And she's spoken at numerous conventions on topics about disability representation in sci-fi fantasy. So, I mean, again, that could be multiple things. That could be, those are the platforms and the ways that she can talk about about hard of hearingness, or other things. It could have nothing to do with that. It could just be that somebody else chose to use the word disability, and they talk about a lot of things, and deafness and hard of hearing are part of it. It could be that they're not a part of it. I don't know. It makes me really wary to see nothing in her bio about whether she's hearing, hard of hearing, or deaf, and then to see her strongly related to things with the word disability in them. Because if you're around deaf culture, and granted, hard of hearing is a little bit different than deaf culture, but it is really mixed together, and it does interact a lot. And if you're around deaf culture, you'll see that big D deafness is not a disability. And it's a really big, really important thing, so that just makes me a little bit wary of it. But, all that ranting aside, this was a good book, and I would say go ahead and pick it up, just be a little bit wary of the hard of hearing rep. I would love to hear a review from somebody who is hard of hearing. So if you guys know of anybody that's reviewed this that is hard of hearing, I would love to hear that, or watch that, or whatever, read it, or whatever. I don't know. Otherwise, questions, comments, opinions, let me know down below. You know I love discussing things with you guys. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.